Charlotte, North Carolina. A normal ride on a city train. Passengers quiet, eyes on their phones. Everything seems calm, until one man makes a move that changes everything. Watch closely. Decarlos Brown Jr. reaches into his pocket and pulls out a knife. At this very moment, 23-year-old Iryna Zarutska has no idea these are her final seconds. Here, everything appears ordinary. Brown sits motionless, showing no hint of aggression, just another commuter lost in his own thoughts. Moments later, Iryna Zarutska, just off her shift from the pizza shop, steps onto this train. She settles into the seat ahead of him, scrolling through her phone, unaware that in just minutes, her world will shatter. Then, the silence breaks. Brown slowly reaches into his pocket. His hand pulls out a small folding knife, and in that instant, no one can guess what runs through his mind. With one sudden motion, he swings toward the young woman in front of him, a girl who moments ago thought she was just heading home from work. The attack is over in seconds, but the horror inside this train has just begun. Brown rises to his feet, moving slowly down the aisle. In his hand, the knife. A steady drip follows him, leaving a trail across the floor. At first, the passengers remain calm. Some don't even realize what just happened. But then they notice the drops of blood. They notice the blade in his hand. Brown sways back and forth, hovering near the doors, waiting to escape. He slips off his hoodie, wrapping the weapon inside, trying to conceal what he has done. Only now do the passengers understand. Something terrible has unfolded right in front of them. Brown stands by the doors, tense, waiting for them to open. Behind him, a silent car, passengers frozen between confusion and fear. The drip on the floor has become impossible to ignore. Whispers spread, eyes widen. At the next stop, the doors slide open. Brown slips out, disappearing into the night, leaving behind a train full of witnesses and the unimaginable aftermath of just seconds of violence. For nearly a minute, Brown just stands there, motionless by the doors. His face gives nothing away. No panic, no remorse, only silence. What goes through his mind in these moments? Is he planning his escape? Or is this the calm of someone who has done this before? We now know this wasn't the first time Brown faced the law, but the full story of his past is even darker than anyone on this train could imagine. On the platform, uniformed officers quickly surround him. Within moments, Brown is in custody, detained and led away under a cloud of shock and disbelief. He was hospitalized after the incident for a minor wound on his hand, then taken into custody. Brown now faces a first-degree murder charge, awaiting trial as public outrage and investigations intensify. The public is left reeling, and one question hangs over Charlotte more than any other. Who is Decarlos Brown Jr.? Decarlos Brown Jr. is not a stranger to the justice system. In fact, his face has appeared in mugshots more than a dozen times. Since 2011, Brown has been arrested at least 14 times for armed robbery, assaults, theft, and repeated run-ins with the law. He served 5 years in prison for armed robbery, only to be arrested again just months after his release. And in early 2025, he dialed 911 with bizarre claims, telling operators that man-made material inside his body was controlling him. His public defender raised concerns about his mental state. A judge even ordered a psychiatric evaluation, but it was never completed. Instead, Brown remained free. The case has ignited outrage. How could someone with 14 arrests and clear signs of mental illness still walk the streets? President Donald Trump weighed in, calling the attack vicious and demanding answers from local leaders. I just give my love and hope to the family of the young woman who was stabbed this morning or last night in Charlotte by a madman. A lunatic just got up and started. It's right on the tape. Not really watchable because it's so horrible, but just viciously stabbed. She's just sitting there. There are evil people, and we have to be able to handle that. If we don't handle that, we don't have a country. Public debate now centers on one question. Was this tragedy the act of one man or the failure of an entire system? Her name was Iryna Zarutska, 23, born in Kyiv, Ukraine. In 2022, she fled the unrelenting horrors of war, arriving in the United States with her mother, sister, and brother, seeking safety and a chance at a new beginning. Iryna was no stranger to beauty. Studying art and restoration in Kyiv, she brought her creativity with her to Charlotte. She had a passion for animals and dreamed of becoming a veterinary assistant, a life of kindness, compassion, and purpose. Instead of safety, she found herself on a train, heading home from her shift at a pizzeria, where one senseless act extinguished a life full of promise. In one of my previous videos, we followed a case where the defendant was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Instead of a life sentence, she was sent to a treatment facility. After 7 years of treatment, she now claims she's recovered, no longer a danger to herself or others, and is asking to be released back into society. And it raises a difficult question. What do you think? Will every killer one day be considered not responsible? Where do we draw the line between justice and insanity? Choose your next video. If you enjoy courtroom drama, brilliant attorney moves, abusers getting what they deserve, or other compelling cases, stay with us and watch your next video.